We have a wonderful speaker tonight, Maria Teresa Kumar. She is the founding CEO of Voto Latino and Voto Latino Foundation. One moment, yes, and she's an Emmy-nominated on-air analyst for MSNBC. As the country's largest Latinx voter registration and mobilization organization, Voto Latino has played a decisive role in American elections and has been a major voice countering disinformation in the Latino community. Maria Teresa began her career as a senior legislative aide on Capitol Hill. She's a graduate of the Harvard Kennedy School and UC Davis, a life member of the Council on Foreign Relations, a World Economic Forum Young Global Leader, and a board member of Emily's List. She has dedicated her career to engaging the public to build democracy and protect human rights. We are very excited that she is joining us tonight from Colombia. Welcome, Maria Teresa.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience in trying to get this over. But I have to say that song just made my day. I came in right when you were all singing the previous song, not this Wing Within Your Wings. And what a moment to come in. Music always has such a healing balm, and the purpose, I think, was well received. So thank you so much for giving me this platform, this conversation. I'm excited by what you're doing. Congratulations on making this big life move. As a co-founder of a nonprofit startup, I salute you. And it's exciting that you're doing what you're doing at a time where our country really needs these voices at the forefront to mobilize, to engage. Lisa, I am a first-generation immigrant, very similar to yours. My family's originally from Colombia, and very similarly, we believe in the American promise, and that means participation. At Voto Latino, we look at trying to enfranchise the fastest growing demographic. We have been speaking now for less than 4 minutes, and already 8 young Latinos have turned 18 in America, eligible to vote. Every 30 seconds, a Latino youth comes of age. And while the majority of white Americans are 54, the majority of Latinos in the US are 19 years old. So we're talking about a generational difference. And we deeply believe that if we grow our electoral base, if we engage young Americans to participate, there could be an incredibly different America and a different outlook. And before I had to tell people when we started Voto Latino 16 years ago, trust me, it will happen. And then in the 2018 election, young people drove the results. And what did we see in 2018? We saw the largest representation in American history up to that point. And they ushered in the most diverse Congress that we had ever seen in our nation's history. The most young people, we saw the most veterans, we saw the most women for the very first time. We saw the most Muslim Americans, the most Native Americans. It was really a fabric of an institution that looked closer to everyone on this call. And then 2020, we Voto Latino, we really doubled down. I will share with you, after 2016, for me personally, for the organization, it was a devastating day, the day after the 2016 election, because we realized that everything that the former president had promised that he was going to put into fruition. And not shortly after, he put together the Muslim ban. Then he started separating children. He fulfilled everything he said he was going to do in short order. And at Voto Latino, we decided to hit a major reset. And we went from a small nonprofit of $6 million and saying, how can we really defeat this person that is an existential threat to our democracy? And we went from a $6 million organization, having registered 177,000 voters and mobilizing 500,000 in 2016, to raising $34 million, registering over 612,000 voters, and mobilizing 3.9 million voters that were low propensity voters. Of the people we registered, 71% were under the age of 34. 58% of them were first-time voters. And our efforts were concentrated in 8 battleground states. They were concentrated in Arizona, in Nevada, in Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Florida. It's not surprising that all the states that everybody was sitting on edge of which way was it going to go, Voto Latino was there. And I am so proud of the work that my team did. I'm so proud of the voter, because in a place like Georgia, where Biden lost by 10,000, won by 10,000 votes, Voto Latino registered 36,000 people. In a place like Arizona, where he won by 22,000, we registered 67,000. And the same goes for Nevada. Of the people we registered, 78% of them made it onto a voter file, for folks who know that code. And of those people, over 77% of them voted. That's not a small feat, but it's because of volunteers like you, who I'm sure were calling, knocking on doors, encouraging low propensity voters, saying, you matter, you count, our democracy is at risk. And what a difference a day makes. I have to share with you, I'm in conversations constantly with the White House, having conversations with the Biden administration, and very rarely am I at a loss because they've thought of policy that as an organization, we've been pushing for a very long time. Is it perfect? No. But having started my career at the Kennedy School, starting my career working for Congress, I am very, very clear that moving policy is really, really difficult. And what we are seeing coming out of this administration has been close to 25 years of progressive movement. None of this has happened by accident. It's been decades in the making, and we're seeing the fruition of it. And my hope is that you continue going with Crimson Blues and continue participating. I encourage you to invest, because it's very important. I keep saying that a nonprofit is completely misnomer. It's a bit of a joke. You actually need resources in order to do big things. And more importantly, I have to share with you that it is an incredible privilege to speak with you tonight, because when people say that grassroots mobilization doesn't always work, I have proof in the pudding that not only did we transform our Congress in 2018 when we participated, but we transformed the direction of our country in this last election. And it's not small. Young people overperformed for the very first time in a generation. And now our job is to make sure that we provide people with real policies so that they believe their vote was transformational. And that's the work that we're focusing now at Voto Latino. And you mentioned, for example, that I'm running for overseer. I am first generation immigrant. I never thought that I was going to go to Harvard, let alone be nominated for this position. But I have to tell you that Harvard is in such a unique position today to help create a more just and equitable society, not just in this country, but abroad as well. And that's one of the reasons why when I was asked to participate, when I was nominated, I said, absolutely, because I think that right now, through impact investing, Harvard can actually decide where they invest their money. Also, when it comes to ethnic studies, we need a future that looks more like the generation that is currently in middle school versus the generation that is graduating high school. And so my hope is to be able to participate in those conversations. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the space. But I have to tell you, the only reason we have change in Congress, the only reason we have a change in the Senate, the only reason we have change in the White House is because of the tireless work that all of you have done to make sure that this was possible. And nothing gives me more aspiration than knowing that our democracy works when we participate.
Thank you so much, Maria. Maria Teresa, you are like an inspiration to us. Believe me, we are starting so small, but we see what you've done, and it's really impressive. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it, everybody. So everybody check out Voto Latino. They've got a lot of information on their website, and we look forward to working with your organization. We can't
and
wait.
We're always looking for volunteers. So if folks want to volunteer, we were able, because we're digital, we were able to go seamlessly from door knocking to texting people and bothering them and encouraging them to go on. So there's plenty of ways for folks, if they're interested in getting involved in Voto Latino, we always welcome you. And thank you so much for really creating the space, and thank you for what you're doing, and congratulations.